All right, let's take a little journey together. We're heading to Nan, a province way up in northern Thailand that honestly feels like you've stepped into a completely different world. It's this place where life just slows down, you know? It's been tucked away behind mountains for centuries, and it has a history that's incredibly proud and resilient.
You know, there's a saying that perfectly captures the vibe here. Some cities shout their stories. Nan whispers. And that's not just some fancy marketing line. It's a feeling you get right away. It actually comes from the super famous mural at the Wat Phuman Temple. They call it the Whispering Lovers. It just perfectly sums up Nan, a story that you have to lean in a little closer to really truly hear.
So, to really understand that whisper, we've got to listen to the echoes from its past. We need to dive into this history of, well, remarkable independence.
Now check this out. Nan's story stretches back more than 700 years. It's been a long, long road from being this tiny, independent city-state to eventually being part of bigger players like the Lana Kingdom and then Siam. But here's the key thing to remember. Through all of that, Nan always kept its own unique character. It wasn't even fully integrated into modern Thailand until 1931. Think about that.
And get this, even its old name gives you a huge clue about its personality. For a long time, Nan was actually called Nanthaburi, which literally means the pleasant city or the beautiful city. So for hundreds of years, people have known this was a place cherished for its beauty and its peacefulness.
The official provincial emblem basically tells its whole origin story in one picture. The bull, or Usaparat, is all about the fertile land and the legends of how the city was founded. And that stupa it's carrying, that honors Prata Che Heng, this super sacred relic from the Sukhothai kingdom. And it symbolizes the deep, unwavering Buddhist faith that is just the bedrock of Nan's entire culture.
So you might be asking yourself, how on earth did this small kingdom keep such a strong sense of self while being surrounded by huge powers for centuries? Well, the answer isn't really about politics. It's written right into the landscape itself.
85%. Let that number sink in. That is the amount of Nan province that's covered by high, rugged mountains. It's just incredible.
And that geography, right there, has been the single biggest factor in Nan's history. Those mountains were like a natural fortress, you know? They created this bubble of isolation that kept outside influences at bay for centuries. So that tough terrain wasn't a barrier, it was more like a guardian. It's the reason unique traditions, dialects, and art styles could just bloom completely undisturbed, creating this cultural hidden gem that people love so much today.
Okay, so we've covered the land. Now let's shift from the mountains to the people who call this valley home, because they are the real weavers of Nan's vibrant cultural tapestry.
And a central thread in that tapestry is faith. I mean, look at this. Over 98% of the population is Buddhist. And this isn't just a number on a chart. It's a living, breathing part of the community. It shapes everything from how people go about their day to the absolutely magnificent art you find inside Nan's temples. The people themselves are also this fascinating mix. The majority are the Tai Yuan, who come from the old Lana Kingdom. But what adds this whole other layer of cultural richness are groups like the Tai Lu. They migrated from southern China, and they are masters of textile weaving. Seriously, their skill is incredible. They create these beautiful, totally unique patterns that are famous all across Thailand.
Okay, so we've looked at the history, the geography, and the people. Let's pull all those threads together and see what creates Nan's enduring charm today.
The An that you can go and visit right now is a direct result of everything we've just talked about. That famous slow life vibe, that comes from hundreds of years of isolation. And its biggest draws, those ancient temples and their whispering murals, they're the product of a deep-rooted faith and an artistic heritage that's been protected this whole time by those shielding mountains.
And that really brings us to our final thought. As you look at this peaceful city, it kind of makes you wonder, right? In a world that just never seems to stop moving, a world that only gets louder and faster, is it possible that Nan's greatest treasure is simply its slowness? Is that quiet whisper actually its most powerful story?